Good morning and welcome to the the edition of the Saturday show. I'm Carl as usual. We've got some bumper loads of things to go for today. This is a big weekend, especially in the football world. We have got the EFL final day weekend, all the games this weekend in the Championship, Leagues One and League Two as well. We'll talk about the European competition roundup, what a good win for the British teams over this weekend and this past week in the semi-finals. And we also will discuss all the other news as well, especially with some breaking news regarding Reading's future, and also talk about what's next for Hearts or Midlothian after the sat Neil Critchley last weekend after a 1-0 defeat at home to Dundee. So let's go through the fixtures today and actually discuss and look at all the permutations as well shortly as well. So this weekend we've got some huge games in the Premier League coming up today. We've got the 12:30 kickoff between Aston Villa for Villa are chasing down the top five to get into the Champions League for next season. Relegate Ipswich Town go away to Goodison Park to face Everton, and it's probably one of the least fixtures today, but people won't be interested. But Leicester City gets Southampton, two relegated teams already gone down as well. Later on at 5:30 is Arsenal home to Bournemouth later on today. In the Scottish Premiership, we've got some two key some both bottom six and the top six games today as well. Motherwell go away to Dundee. Hearts are now probably in a relegation battle if they lose to Ross County today. St Johnson home to Kilmarnock in the top six. Hibs can continue their good run of form after Dave Gray signed a contract extension for another couple of more years. They are home to Dundee United and St Mirren against Aberdeen. Now let's go to the championship. All games kicking off at 12:30. We'll talk about the permutations shortly as well. But it's a huge game for Bristol City. They need to win to get into the playoffs. Or Preston needs to win to stay up as well. Millwall also catching up alongside as well. Preston, Burnley. They need to win away at Burnley, and Burnley have to win to become champions. Regarding what happens at home park. Coventry City also need to win to guarantee their player spot as well. They need to beat Middlesbrough today. Middlesbrough still has an outside chance to get into the player, depending on other results. Derby County and Stoke City are fighting for their battle, fighting about to stay up as well. They play at 12:30. Already relegated Cardiff City, they go with to Norwich City. Plymouth Argyle, are effectively relegated. But if it could be, they need a move to go against my team, Leeds United. Leeds also can win regardless, of Burnley's result. While Portsmouth are home to Hull City, Hull are fighting to stay up as well. Blackburn still has an outside chance. They go away to Sheffield United. QPR away at Sunderland. The future of Martin Cifuentes. He's on garden leave to today's game. Uh, Swansea City against Oxford United. Sheffield Wednesday away at Watford, and West Brom against Luton Town as well, which is another huge game for the relegation battle. Yes, good morning, Chris. I am well, mate. Listen, you're welcome to join me if you want, and we can talk about Carlisle's relegation. Long of 15 year stay is over. We'll talk more about that if you want to join. If you want to, we'll get you on as soon as possible once I've done the fixture, all the fixtures, pronunciation, all the fixtures I've mentioned. Big games in League One today as well. Only relegated Bristol Rovers, they were at Blackpool. Bolton at home to Stevenage. Birmingham City have broken the record, with the most points in League One history. They go with Cambridge United. Charlton at home to Burton Albion. Late Orient, they still have a chance to get into the playoff spot. They're away at Huddersfield Town. Lincoln City at home against Wrexham. Wrexham have already been promoted as well. Exeter City going to Mansfield Town. Northampton Town against Wigan Athletic. Reading against Barnsley. A huge feature of positive, a huge positive news for Reading. We'll go into shortly as well. Peterborough are away at Rotherham United. Shrewsbury Town against Crawley Town, and Wycombe Wanderers, who probably likely will now are already now in the playoffs. Well, they're home to Stockport County. In League Two, Accrington Stanley against Chesterfield is later on today at 3 o'clock. Bradford City against Fleetwood Town. Bromley against Cheltenham Town. Only relegated Carlisle United at home to Salford City. Barrow are facing a trip way down to Exeter to face Colchester United. Crewe Alexandra against Walsall. Greenswood Town against Wimbledon, Harrogate go away to only relegated Morecambe, Newport County at home to Tranmere Rovers, Doncaster away at Notts County, Port Vale against Junior, and MK Dons away at Swindon Town. And also in the league fixture, in the Scottish Lower League fixtures, key games this weekend: Inverness Califest, so they were at Montrose. Dumbarton go away to Straight Review, and Athletic against Cove Rangers, Queen and South go away to Arbroath, and Celtic Hearts against Al Athletic. In a 2 o'clock kickoff, a big Edinburgh derby, which my co-host Doug will be there with his friend. I Paul will be there as well. Spartans against Edinburgh City. This is the last Edinburgh Derby fixture in the Scottish League Two, which is a key game around between these two teams as well. In the National League North South semi-finals, not promised, Scunthorpe against Chorley and Borough go away to Torquay United. In the Spanish Liga and the German Bundesliga, Atletico Madrid go away to Deportivo Alaves. Barcelona, after what an interesting game, what a hell of a game against Inter this week, they go away to Real Valladolid. Las Palmas at home to Valencia. And also key games as well. Brent Butcher Mönchengladbach against Hoffenheim. Bayern Munich are not too far to become champions if they beat Leipzig later today. St. Pauli at home to Stuttgart. Union Berlin against Werder Bremen. And a 5:30 kickoff, which is Borussia Dortmund against Wolfsburg, live on Sky Sports. And in the Serie A later on today, Lecce against Napoli. Napoli are close to get reclaiming their title after the season prior they won it, and Inter Milan against Hellas for at 7:45 as well. In Dutch Eredivisie, PSV against Fortuna and final go away to Hercules. And then in League 1, we got Strasbourg against PSG later at 4 o'clock, and Monaco go away to Saint Etienne at 8:05 as well. Let's look at tomorrow's games as well. 4 games in the Premier League as well. Brentford at home to Manchester United. Newcastle go away down to Brighton. West Ham against Spurs. And the big game between Chelsea against Liverpool at 4:30. And the big game in the Old Firm game between Rangers and Celtic tomorrow at 12 o'clock as well. And looking here in the Spanish La Liga, Real Madrid at home to Celta Vigo. You know, Sevilla home to Leganes, Real Betis go to Espanyol, and Athletic Bilbao way to Real Sociedad. Bayer Leverkusen will, regardless of the outcome of the title race, they will, they have to wait till tomorrow to play against Freiburg away. Augsburg home to Holstein Kiel, and France will go away to Mainz. And the Serie A, 2 huge games, a couple of huge games. Already getting Monza, they're at home to Atalanta. Roma against Fiorentina later tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and then the 7:45 kickoff between Bologna and Juventus as well. And then on Monday night, one Premier League game, Nottingham Forest, they need, after losing 2-0 this past week against Brentford at home, their Champions League spot is in a bit of a fall. They're away at Crystal Palace at 8 o'clock as well. So that is all the fixtures we have talked about as well. So let's discuss about the big weekend. It's the EFL final day weekend. There's a lot of permutations mainly in the championship, which is vital at the moment. After 9 months of hard work, 540 games of football, it comes down to a couple of hours on Saturday. What a season the championship has delivered, again, incredible drama with pendulum swing one way or another. The final day fixtures is into the 12:30 later on, shortly in the next hour and a half or so. Everything's going to be decided. The title, the two playoff places, and realistically one relegation spot with 12 teams lot to play for as well. So let's look at the share list at the bottom of the table at the moment. So seeing here, this is what the table says. We know that Cardiff are already relegated. That's been decided after last week with the 0-0 draw against West Brom. These are the teams that effectively still has a chance to stay up. Plymouth, there's an outside chance they need to have a huge goal swing to stay up, but it's at the moment between Hull, Stoke, Derby, Preston, Luton, and Hull City. These are the teams that I'd like to evolve, and these are the permutations. We start off with Plymouth and Hull City, mainly with Plymouth. They're already effectively down. They Barry the Football Miracle. Miramucci needs a huge side, need to beat title chasing Leeds convincingly. I'd hope Luton have a defeat against West Brom overturn a 14 goal swing. They also would need Hull to lose at Portsmouth. It's going to be difficult. This is going to be a difficult day for Plymouth. I can't see this thing. If Muramushi stays next season, I think they have a good chance of coming back up next season. I really do. I think they have I think the way he's ingrained his tactics and his belief in the squad. Yes, they might lose some good players, but I think if he keeps the core of that squad, I think he's and do well in the transfer window later this summer. I think they have a good chance of coming back up next season as well. So that is a huge game for Plymouth, but I can't see them staying up. Right, let's go to Hull. Hull's chances is going to be complicated. So this is what they do need. As you see on the screen, lose at Portsmouth, they're down, but Hull City's face in hands. The most simple way is to win. They will be guaranteed to finish above either Derby or Stockport. That is now critical. Chris, I will send you the link. I'll give you a second. I'll put that in the chat if everyone wants to join. Please have your time to join us as well. So that is a situation with that. So this is what they need to do: is the better result of one of Luton or Preston. That is the main thing. If the Tigers draw and Hatters and Little lose, Hull should survive with a better goal difference than both those sides. Should Luton and Preston avoid defeat, Ruben says that could finish above Derby and goal difference if they draw or if the Rams lose to stop by 3 goals. Another unlikely scenario with that one, Hull could finish above Derby on the goal score if the Tigers draw 6-6 and the Rams lose by 2 goals. In the unlikely likely event, Hull draw 5-5 and Derby lose by 2, the Rams will sit virtually by a better head-to-head record. Hull can only finish above Stoke if they win and the Potters fail to do so. That is another key aspect. Let's go to Luton. Luton had a really a good win last weekend against Coventry, and I'm actually really glad to, that this is it's giving them a huge boost for them to stay up. So they go away to West Brom later today. What do they need? They need to win at West Brom or Hull lose. Hull and both lose. Plymouth win. And Plymouth win. The Hatters only need a lucky 4 goal swing as well. So that is huge as well. So yeah, it's quite a dumb why with that one. But I say good morning to Chris. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. Hope we're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well, most importantly as well.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How's your week been?
A complete difference in emotions.
Okay, let's take the football out of it. In general, how you been?
But yeah, in general, yeah, perfect.
It's okay. We had Nathan on last week when he talked about when he was we had to ask him if he was okay football wise after Cardiff went down last week. So you're not the only one, mate. It's had a tough weekend. So
But yeah, I mean, it started off on a downer the weekend, but then the weekend ended on a high.
absolutely. I'll get your response in a couple of minutes, Chris. I just wanted to say a few more things about the permutations of what's gone down. So Luton need to stay up. If they lose, it gets more complicated. If not, Bluefield sides don't pick up 3 points. Should Hull avoid defeat, and Luton will need to match the result, stay up. Luton will stay up regardless of Hull result if the better result of one of Preston Derby. So realistically, what happens if Hull, Preston Derby all win? Then Luton will have to win themselves, finish above Stoke, and avoid a drop. And this is all the unlikely outcomes that we see here. Stoke lose by 6 goals and with the worst goal difference. By Luton, they lose 5-0, and that is draw 3-3 without being with tight goal difference, but still with better head-to-head record. And still, if Stoke lose again 5-0, Luton's got at least 4-4, 5-5, so they stay on goals scored. Next team that's worried about is Preston. Preston have lost 4 on the bounce. I've only won in the past 14 games, and then now dragged into a relegation. Right, they go away to Bristol City today, and Annie is going to be there at the game today. It's a huge game for both these sides. So similarity to Luton, Preston will need to stay out if they win to Bristol City if Hull lose. The Lillerites, if not Lillerites, will have to match one either Luton Hull results to beat or better result one of Derby or Stoke. So that's another thing as well. Same scenario again. Should both lose or win, Heckenbox have only will survive a goal difference along the avoid an unlikely scenario by losing by 13 goals, and that is losing by 1 or so on. as well. If Hull and Luton both avoid defeat, the Lyrics will need Derby to lose by 4 more goals to stay goal difference if Preston lose. Another fast stretch would say if Preston loses, and both Hull and Luton avoid defeat, and if Derby lose by 4 goals and Preston lose by one, the Lily Whiteson will need to ensure that 3 more goals and Derby will stay with goals scored. Example: Derby 4, Derby nil, Stoke 4, Bristol City 4-3 against Preston. Next over to the promoted team, Derby. What are they playing? They need to win. They need to they can secure their championship status if they win against rival Stoke or if Hull lose. The Rams also hold a slight advantage. The best goal difference of all the sides in the relegation battle. So if Hull win and the Rams do not win, they need to match one of Preston or Luton results to stay up. As mentioned, Hull permutations, unlikely scenario is same as well, in which that would go down if Hull and Preston draw and Luton win the Ram lose by 3 goals. We can probably rule out those two potential outcomes below. As we see here, Darwin will be relegated goal score if they lose by 2 goals and Hull draw 6-6. And Darwin will have to stay with head-to-head record if they lose 2 goals and Hull draw 5-5. The last team to come to is Stoke. Same thing again with Stoke. They all need to stay with the avoid 3-5. And they should, if the Potters should lose 3 of their 5 goals, they will all go down if Luton Hull win. And the outcome will get if the Preston get a draw. The unlikely outcome is Stoke will get if Hull win and Preston avoid defeat and Luton draw. And this is what happens in the scenarios potentially. End lose by 6 goals, end by the West goal difference to Luton. Stoke if lose 5-0 and then draw 3-3 with Albion and the Potters go down with the West head-to-head record. Stoke lose 5-0 and Luton score at least 4 and draw. It's so complicated. It really is. It really is. Chris, before we get to the playoff chase, what is this permutation situation for the relegation battle is so interesting because we know technically Plymouth are mathematically have gone down, but even though if they can get a miracle, but it's unlikely. But who do you think will go down out of the other teams that I've mentioned?
I mean, I can throw it out the cereal box if you want. I mean, it could be any of them, couldn't it? Well, in terms of the permutations, I think Stoke will be okay, I reckon. But I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee anything. But I think Stoke. I can't see Stoke going down personally. So, uh, well, Plymouth are down mathematically. We know that.
Yeah,
Cardiff are obviously down as well, which is probably. I think Cardiff going down's been common for a few years, but they've been flirting with it, and now this season's been the season where they finally caught them. But really sad to see Cardiff go down. Uh, it's just between the other teams now: Newton, Hull, I'm really shocked to see Preston down there because Preston are normally stable mid-table club as well. The thing is, Newton have got the momentum now, haven't they? In the last couple of results,
yeah, they have.
so I think Newton will be safe. It's just between Hull and Preston. I'm shocked to see Preston down there, really am. But I think Preston got the worst form.
They
Like
have. They've well off.
don't
Yeah,
going into it. I think the FA. I don't think the FA Cup's affected them that much because they were still in. They were in good form before then. Before the FA Cup then.
but do you think the way they played against Villa is taking it well before even against this? It's just taking so much out of them.
Potentially. But I actually think it's done with Preston. I have to go for who's got the momentum at the moment and who hasn't. So I think Preston might get trod into that final where there's some spot.
Yeah,
Cause I think Newton with their momentum can definitely get a result at West Brom.
yeah.
And
I see
and
that as well. I said that last week in the championship
yeah.
game last week as well, and even Doug Cardiff already down. Plymouth mathematically technically down. Preston will go. I think it's just I just can't see where everything, and you can see
Yeah,
Hull beating Pompey as well. So
because if you think of it, Pompey got nothing to play for,
no,
really, apart from trying to win the final home game of the season. Uh, I think Hull and Newton got more to play for than Pompey and West Brom, respectively.
yeah, yeah, I do as well. Actually, I said it last week. I think Preston is the worst out of the teams that have really struggled. I just see them going down completely. Right. Yeah. Next thing, let's go to the playoff, the final two spots in the playoff, Chris. So these are the permutations involved. We know that Sheffield United and Sunderland have confirmed their playoff spot anyway. So we got Bristol City, Coventry, Millwall, Blackburn, and Middlesbrough. The gap is so close, Chris. It's only like 3 points between fifth and ninth place, and if it could, there's a lot of permutations can lot out today, and so Coventry at home to Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have to win at Coventry to stand in the playoff, reach the playoff. If Blackburn and Millwall fail to win, and if Bristol and only can, as long as Bristol City lose, only one of Millwall Blackburn can win. Blackburn, on the other hand, they go away to Sheffield United. I don't know if Sheffield United will be resting players today. We will see later on in the team sheet shortly. Blackburn have to win at Sheffield United to stand any chance of reaching playoff. And only if two of the Bristol City, Coventry, and Millwall fail to win. Millwall, they're in a good chance as well. They go away to Burnley, as well. They need to win at Burnley to stand any chance. Only will be enough for one of Bristol City, Coventry results failed if they fail to win. A draw will be enough for Neil's side to finish in top six. In the unlikely event, if Bristol City lose by 5 goals and Blackburn fail to win, or implausible situation, Bristol City lose 4-0 and Millwall draw 12-12 and Blackburn fail to win for the last for like if to finish goals scored. That's gonna be interesting one. And last two teams we have discussed, Coventry, they need to beat as well. They need to beat Middlesbrough. A job enough for the Sky Blues. If only one of the following happens: if Blackburn and Millwall fail to win, both of them, and Bristol City lose, and one of Millwall Blackburn fail to win. If Coventry lose, they cannot finish in the top six. That is simple as that. For Bristol City, there's loads of permutations with this one. They can win securely by a draw for enough, but they have to rely on other results. And he's all the real results mentioned there. And bloody hell, I'm not going to go through them, but if you see on the screen, that is a lot of permutation for Bristol City. Completely, it really is. And then we get into the big one. This is no teams in the top two have ever gotten to 100 points consecutively. Two teams have never, it's never happened in the championship history. So this is what have needs to be simple. This is simple maths, so this is okay. So Burnley have to beat Millwall, and they need to better Leeds result to win the championship. That's the permutations. If Leeds win, they will crouch as if the match Burnley result by the unlikely scenario because both sides win, and the Clarks overhaul to have to overhaul a 13 goal match or goal difference. So these are all the permutations with this. You see, he leaves, unless Burnley win by 14 goals more than Leeds. I can't see that happening. If Leeds and win and benefit to Leeds win the title, if both of them draw, Leeds will still win the title. If Leeds draw and Burnley win, Burnley wins the title. In this scenario, Leeds losing Burnley, you get the picture of it completely. So, yeah, it's Chris, so much permutations on the board today, and let's get your decision. Who do you think will be the final two playoff spots in the championship?
I I think it will be. I think Bristol City will get in there.
Yeah, I agree.
It's that Coventry Middlesbrough game. Oh my god! Oh my days! That's like the decider basically.
Are you also surprised how Blackburn, even though we thought they were out a couple of weeks ago, are still in this race? It's crazy.
It's a bit like Chelsea find themselves in the top four, top five race, even though they're not being convincing at all. Uh, Blackburn obviously got the new manager after John Husis obviously went to Derby, and I thought that would be a big miss for Blackburn when John Husis, yeah. Uh, I just feel they left it a bit too late, in my opinion, Blackburn. But it's a championship, strange things happen all the time. But Millwall, I think Millwall surprised through people this season, putting themselves in the mix for the playoffs. And the Premier League, the Premier League be secretly hoping we don't want them in the Premier League. There'll be too many chances done against Millwall for trial trouble and all that. So uh, I still think it'd be Crystal City and Coventry for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Does that result of Michael Carrick losing his job after today? Because
I think he has to for me. I know he's done a good job since he came in, but they want progress now in Middlesbrough. They want like a significant success, and it's just been the same old the last season or so for me.
yeah, absolutely as well. It is. Right. Do you know what, Chris? Let's go into League One. Actually, this is a lot of permutations, especially for the final spot in the playoff race. Reading. We've got some good news about Reading. They're now some big news, Chris. They have been now taken over by the former Wickham owner Rob Cohen. That deal is now agreed now. So looks like Reading's future is look like it's more secure going forward now, long term
Yeah,
wise.
yeah, fantastic news. Every football fan should be hoping that Reading with done debt brought as well, and really strange to see some of Taro fans hoping for Reading to basically go bust so Taro can survive, which is just stupid really. I wouldn't really want to survive anyways by that way, in my opinion. So, but for me, uh, it's been a long time coming. They were always in debt port for me, Reading. They weren't on debt spelled because of where they were in the table, especially in League One, the size of the club as well. And it was always going to be deadline after deadline after deadline. It keep on doing 28 day deadlines before they are eventually brought. So fantastic news for them, and fair play to the Reading players, by the way, not being distracted by the situation and getting Reading in the playoff race as well, which is a shout out to them for me. Shout out to the players
Absolutely.
and the Daffer as well, the manager.
Yeah, absolutely as well. No, Holt's done a good job stabilising after Ruben Says left the club during the season to go to Hull. Between Orient and Reading, who's going to be the last spot, Chris? Because Reading, I think Leto has got the easiest game because with Huddersfield not involved in the playoff race now. Reading, they're home to Barnsley, and they need to lose the result, Leighton Orient result at Huddersfield today. So who's going to be getting in the final spot in the playoffs in League One?
Oof, it's quite. This is a thing though. When you look at both their games, I think obviously Barnsley similar to Huddersfield for me. Not really much to play for me technically, and I'm still gonna do. Oh my god, it's a tough one.
Because both these clubs in these past couple of days have been taken over, both Leighton Orient and Reading. They're getting new ownership, so this is
That's what
really
I'm
good.
saying. The dot momentum behind them,
Yeah,
and oh, I'm gonna edge towards Reading.
yeah, I think Reading's got the upper hand. I really do. I think just about.
But fair play to it, no, and fair play to Richie Rowans as well.
Oh
Getting
yeah,
them, getting them in the playoff race in League One is quite incredible because in the past, Richie Rowans hadn't really been like good enough for League One in the past,
yeah.
and now he's proven that point that he is good enough
He
to,
had something to prove. He had something
yeah,
to
something
prove
to
with his
prove as well.
record. Yeah, no, he had something to prove. I agree as well. Right, Chris, League Two. This is going to be interesting. Who really wants third place? This is going to be an interesting point. So we got Bradford. Walsall and Notts County. You know what's going on with Walsall story, right? They were 12 points clear on the top of the table, Chris, in January, and then 3 months later, so later, they've now slipped back down. They slipped back down out of the promotion spot, and Matt Silence I have to win. At Crew after they missed a chance to get back into the top three, losing to Accrington last time out. Bradford only needs to beat Fleetwood to retain first spot, and also to see here as well, Notts County needed Bradford defeat and Walsall failed to win, have a chance to leap for the third place in the table. So, who's going to get that final promotion spot?
I just this is a thing now. I just think Walsall they just lost it for me. Lost it mentally, lost it momentum wise as well. And but then Bradford should have already had this sealed. With the points they've dropped as well, away at Swindon and that crazy game, 5-4 defeat.
Yeah.
Away to Chesterfield. No, not Chesterfield.
It
Who's the
was
other
where
one?
Chesterfield draw at Chesterfield, yeah.
Yeah, to
And then
Chesterfield. Yeah,
losing to Doncaster last weekend, which was after Alan Baldwin set up for dissent, and they missed the penalty as
it's
well.
it's not to start. Smallwood, one of the best players in the year this season for Bradford in midfield. He got sent off away at Swindon, and yeah, it's basically put your hands up if you want to get that third place, basically. Because I think all three teams have been a bit iffy in the lead this season. Notts County somehow tried themselves back into it, back into the automatic race from out of nowhere. And I still think it's between Bradford and Walsall in my opinion. Because I think Notts County need more for me to
Yeah,
happen. And I don't see. I think Bradford, they're at home. They stepped up to the occasion when it was a massive occasion in the playoff semi-finals. Then obviously my team, of course, in the first year when they won 1-0. I think it's done with Bradford for me. I think it has to be their time now to finally get out of this league and get back into where they deserve, which is League One,
oh
for
yeah,
the size of their club as well.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
Walsall for me be the biggest disappointment of the season for me after the year they've had as well. Not to be promoted. Uh, Obviously, they can still win the playoffs. Of course, anyone can. And and you say, well, so what? We still got promoted in the end, but they had automatic promotion in their hands and terrible run of form as well.
Yeah, absolutely as well. But hopefully the home crowd at Viper they can get Bradford closer to that final promotion spot as well. Chris, the next thing is we know Doncaster confirmed their promotion after beating Bradford City last weekend. That was guaranteed as well. But who's going to be the champions? Is it either going to be Port Vale or even Doncaster?
Port Vale for me. I just think they've got the more winnable game than Sturnham. Notts County will be more difficult for Doncaster. Notts County can still play for that automatic promotion spot, depending on the results elsewhere as well. But but for me, it all means the same for me. I just that automatic promotion, in my opinion. I know people want to be like, oh, but we want to win the title as well. It's all the same. Even when you win the League One title, Championship title, it's still automatic promotion where you just get the better title first and basically.
Yeah, no, absolutely as well. And also, Chris, the last thing, five teams in chasing the playoff in two places. You got Wimbledon, Salford, Grimsby, and Chesterfield. Who is going to get that final two playoff spots? I mean, sorry, because this is quite intense. I did not expect they were going to have loads of permutations today.
I think Wimbledon will be okay in their spot, in my opinion. So I think they will get in. Uh, Salford away at Carlisle today. It would just be the Salford way for me to not dent the playoffs and not to beat Carlisle. it would just be the Salford way, just be that bottle mentality once again from them.
Yeah.
And after the beating Colchester as well, who were around the playoff place as well. It's just the Salford way. It's the Salford way for me. Quinsby, I tell you what, it is intense. The Dames as well. Quinsby have lost momentum recently,
Yeah.
as well. I just got a feeling someone's gonna sneak in on the final day.
I think Chesterfield getting that win last weekend was so huge. Actually, I think they go into the favourites for that final two places because Wimbledon's last two games has been disappointing because they lost two games and they draw two as well. So
And yes, we will. Appleton are already safe as well.
yeah,
So I think Chesterfield might sneak in with. I think Salford should beat us today. Really, they should, and that will confirm their place, in my opinion. So I think Salford and Chesterfield. I just think Queensway need to win. Really, I don't think the draw will be good for them at all.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Got some team news for the Villa Fulham game. One change for Villa. Left back Ian Matson comes in for Lucas Ding, who drops to the bench. Marcus Hughes made two changes as well. Sacha Lukic comes in midfield in place of Ange Pereira. Also, Anthony Webster is back in at left back after he missed a game, and Willie is named as substitute. So for Villa's 11 side, Martinez is in goal with Cash, Konza, Pau Torres, and Matson in the back four, and it should be looking at here a two-one midfield between Tillermans and Kamara, Rogers and Central McGinn in the attacking midfield, and Watkins up front. Uh, Leno, Tete, and Anson Batsy Robson in the back four in the back four with the goalkeeper, Berger, Luxian in the midfield, in the defensive midfield, Sechion Wilson and Ebro in the attacking midfield, and Jimenez up front. And we should have some team news for the championship as well too. That's coming in shortly, and we will try to get those team news. I don't think Leeds have made any changes for what I've been hearing. I've got the team sheet actually from Leeds is actually just give me a second because I think that's just come out just now about that one. But we'll get on that later on anyway. But Chris, we have to talk about what's going on with Carlisle's relegation was confirmed last weekend, and give us your take on everything. After it's how it's just collapsed. So you thought there was outside chance for you guys to stay up, but it was inevitable you were going to go down today. And I know that Mark Hughes is in talks to stay on at Carlisle. Boss, that's been confirming. Does he stay on for next season in the National League?
He loves the challenge, Mark Hughes. He already took the challenge when he first came in. So you gotta give him a shout out for that. He's up for the challenge, and uh, I actually respect Mark Hughes, to be fair, for wanting to stay, because he's I'm not dropping down
Yeah,
to the National
absolutely.
League. But he just shows his courage to bounce straight back up. But yeah, it's been a natural disaster the last 2 seasons. Kept Paul Simpson for far too long. I think that's where it all started. Should never give him the summer transfer window. And I said straight away, our season's already done once we kept Paul Simpson. Then the disastrous appointment in appointing Mike Williamson, who's done nothing as a manager. Well, he hasn't achieved anything. I know people say he got in the playoffs with MK Dons, but his style of football was just not right for Carlisle United, in my opinion. But it comes down to the top of the club as well. As most of the owners have invested in the club. To be fair to them, they have a tough responsibility with their statement
Yeah.
Unlike the others, Chief Executive Don Hayden, Fred Albert, the head of recruitment, who hasn't been seen for 2 years. I've been sending missing profiles out to try and find him,
Yeah.
and the supports trust. Who the hell has a supports trust at a football club? The voice of the fans, apparently. But yeah, these are the same people giving excuses to try and keep Mike Williamson. Our chief executive, I honestly can't stand him now. I can't stand him. The maths is the maths. The maths doesn't change. Well, how comes Ian Holloway chucked over Swindon and got them from what, bottom two to top half minutes?
Yeah.
But hey, the maths doesn't change apparently. The maths doesn't change. So it's just excuse after excuse for me. And also the recruitment on the pace has been absolutely abysmal. Giving 3-year deals out to basically twats, basically. Elliot Embleton and John Janway, who has a bad attitude on him, and we got him on 3 years. I don't get me wrong, he does have quality, but he needs to sort his attitude out.
Mm.
Charlie White, he's been probably the big injury for me, the ligament injury since September, and I mean, don't get me wrong, John Jones and Charlie White and National League, not bad players to have really on paper, in terms of the National League, but for me, a rude awakening is incoming for me next season because they think we're gonna jump straight back up. They got another thing coming for me because we're gonna need 12 signings in the summer because a lot of players are gonna leave.
Yeah. Yeah. That is
So
true.
it's a fourth rebuild in the war. What are we doing here?
I know. It is. Yeah. It's not surprised how Rob Clarkson, who's always was been there for 6 months, he confirmed his exit with media effect as well. So it's not
I
surprising.
I will say on Rob Carson though, I do actually do feel for him because he's not the main responsibility for me. Yeah, he's part responsibility because he still brought the players in for Mike Williamson, and then we sat Mike Williamson on deadline day, as we did with Paul Simpson, sat him on deadline day as well. What was even the point, even given the transfer window to even both of them? So I wonder if Mark Hughes is sat on deadline day in the summer, or maybe Chumley, who knows? It seems to be a pattern going on. So, but I think I really don't know what to expect next season because the National League is more tougher than the last time we got promoted out of the National League.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. That league is very much tougher outside the top, the over top four leagues, both of them as well. It really is tough. Chris, could we get on to the move on to the results in the Champions League and the Europa League and Conference League? A huge result from Manchester United to beat Athletic Bilbao 3-0. That is surprising. Was that Athletic Bilbao? Expect coming to this game this past week. Expect because of them beating Man United years ago. They had the finals at their ground, but it just collapsed after everything. The first, especially with the Casemiro scoring the first goal, and then Bruno Fernandes scoring the penalty after Danny Vivian did actually bring down Hoyland down as well. So it, Man United dealt with this quite well, comfortably, quite well, and they dealt with the hostile atmosphere at the San Menez on Thursday. How credible was that result for them?
I think Manchester United and Spurs should be the main actors in the Bit of Stam, the new movie to be made. I don't know how both of them are more likely now to get in the final. Uh, One of them two, with the seasons they've had, could potentially be in the Champions League next season and could win a trophy as well. But Manchester United did what they needed to do. They weren't affected. Uh, Maybe past experience in Europe as well for Manchester United. That was key from previous years. And they seem to be a cup team, Manchester United, don't they? The last 2 seasons, they've done it with Ten Hag, with winning the League Cup and the FA Cup. And now it could be a potential third season in the war where they've not been done in the lead and can still win a trophy. And the key for Manchester United is to dot the players back as well.
Yeah.
Ahmad, Ahmad coming back. Casemiro is key in these
Uh,
games as
you
well.
get Ahmed is back in as well, and that's huge. With his
But yeah,
big.
it's shock. It's not a shock in terms of like the teams because it's Manchester United, but it was a shock in terms of form. And Bilbao were the better team this season, but certainly didn't show it. Certainly didn't show it in that game. And just hooping football for you continues to shock you.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. Tottenham Hotspur winning against Boulder Glimp 3-1. Brendan Johnson scored in the first minute. James Madison alongside with Dominic Solanke, and then Boulder Glimp did get the goal from consolation goal Soltes. This tie is not over for Spurs yet, Chris, but they go to a very tough ground with the artificial pitch and a small ground. Can Boulder Glimp do the unthinkable and beat Spurs next Thursday? Because that could be interesting if Boulder Glimp they only had one shot on target, but you know they still could have a chance.
I think Arsenal fans be hoping that. They'll be looking over the shoulders, Arsenal, and behind the sofas. And if Baldo came to that an early goal, then it's squeaky bum time for me for Spurs,
Yeah,
especially on that pitch as well. And Baldo Kim are more used to that pitch as well. And so yeah, certainly not over. But I do think Spurs only need a goal for me, and I just feel if Spurs score in the second head, that will probably put the tie to bed, in my opinion.
yeah, no, I think that's all they need to do as well. Going to Chelsea, what a fun win for Chelsea in the Conference League, beating Drogheda 4-1 in Stockholm. Can I ask you something about Tyler George, who's the young player from Chelsea? He's coming to a side that is worth £1 billion, and I think it's is he got a huge future there? Is he going to be Chelsea's main player in the next decade or so? Because he's come into his side fantastically for the Blues.
Remains to be seen for me. I wouldn't judge him too early, especially with Chelsea in the past as well. We saw how they brought through Hudson Odoi, and he ended up even, didn't he? And he didn't live up to like the hype until he's been performing more better at Nottingham Forest this last season or so. So I think we just need to be careful on in overhyping these youngsters that come through. For me, because yes, we will Chelsea in the summer. They're still don't spend. Yes, be real. And then all of a sudden, you may find himself limited game time once again, and then it'll be like a roundabout. Then maybe in 1 year's time, if the forwards Chelsea brought in haven't worked, then he ends up coming back in again ahead of them. So he's he's made an instant impact, but I don't think we should judge him too early. No fault of his own, just the way Chelsea have been with these nonsense in the past. Whenever someone has came through, they've always sent them out on loan, and they've never been seen ever again.
Yeah, no, hopefully Tyreek George does get settled into this Chelsea side slowly and not happy. He's only 19 as well, actually, so for him to get into a side that has spent a lot mainly on the midfield player and the wing and the attacking winger roles, then yeah, it's gonna be interesting because he did sign a new contract last year, which he's got another 2 years left of initial one option. So this could be so the Chelsea want to see how he does, and he's only scored one goal, both in the league and you 2 goals across all competitions this season as well. So yeah, time will tell, like you said. Time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go into the Champions League, mate. Where do you want to start? The most exciting game that we've watched, or we have to talk about Arsenal. Should have had a goal. Should have either had decisions gone against their in favor for them. But where do you want to start?
we'll start off with the East defeat. Well, with the defeated one, which is Arsenal PSG.
Yeah, we'll go with that then. So PSG is taking a 1-0, slight 1-0 advantage after beating Arsenal on Tuesday night. Ousmane Dembele scored in the fourth minute of the game. You know, Arsenal must come from behind to score two goals in the return leg next Wednesday as well. And look, as I said, did you think that? Do you think the atmosphere, the lack of atmosphere from from the Arsenal fans, really did not help them in the first couple of minutes of the game?
Uh, Possibly, but for me, it's still up to the players to be focused right from the door, right from the start door, and it's. I already saw the difference in atmosphere between the Real Madrid for Arsenal and the PSG I don't know whether it's just because of what happened in the Premier League at the weekend. I think Liverpool crowned champions and or just the Palace game affected Arsenal potentially
Yeah,
when they were poor as well. I, it seems to be a similar pattern with Arsenal. They all seem to have this point near the end of the season where it's just all defeats and it's just like a drop off. It used to be back to the Fender days, obviously not under Arteta, but under the Fender days, it's like in the league, nothing to play for, and then they had that European game, and I feel for me, Arsenal needed to win the first yard for me.
yeah.
I think that's a bonus result for PSG to take back into second yard. I think PSG would have happily took the draw back to the second yard in Paris. Uh, for me, the only negative for PSG is they should have been out of sight with the chances they had.
Yeah.
Ramos, and who was the other one? Bartola, I think it was. Who
Bacola,
hit.
yeah, they should have. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I did see that, and I think Dure should have really taken his chances well in the first few minutes as well.
See, that's the only negative about PSG. As much as we enjoy watching them, they do they do waste chances. They do not put chances away. PSG.
Mm.
This is why they probably still need a clinical striker, in my opinion, in the summer.
I think they will do. I will be surprised. I think with Colomani will be sold this summer. I think they will look to get a striker if it's gonna be look like it's gonna be Benjamin Sesko because I think that move could be the only like proper transfer that I could see PSG doing to get someone like him in. I think that will be the obvious case.
Yeah, it'd be Sesko, I see, yeah. I can't really see them. Maybe Yotquez, but I think Yotquez doesn't have interest from other clubs.
I
Like,
think Oyakwe will be going more to the Arsenal this summer. I think now with the new sport directors coming in, I think they're now pushing now everything now on that card.
yeah, the sporting director at Arsenal, he ain't messing about now. He ain't messing about with Arteta's excuses. The excuses for Arteta.
Yeah,
There's don't be friction between Arteta and the sporting director. Arteta won't want a certain player, but sporting director will. And I think next season could be Arteta's final nail in the coffin in terms of his Arsenal job.
yeah, it could be as well. Could be as well. Let's go to the game of the week, Chris, in the semi final. What a game. 15 years ago, Jose Mourinho, knocked out his old club, Barcelona, when he was there with Bob Robson, when they got into to win the Champions League 15 years ago. And 15 years later, what a game, a 3-3 draw. And I have to say, both Barcelona and Inter Milan just put on a show. And like I said, Inter took the lead by two in the first 25 minutes through what a goal for Max Thuram with a flick, to score, and then Dumfries with the header, and we go set pieces. And Lamine Lamal came into the show probably with the best player in the game, and what a simple set piece from Barcelona when actually Ferran Torres scored the second goal. and they actually practiced that on the pitch, Chris. For what they said in the game, they practiced that set piece with Toy scored the equaliser. They practiced that set piece early in the training. So I'm surprised how Inter did not look into that, thinking, "Oh, we should not let Silva should have not let Torres score." But what a game it was! And AC Milan went ahead again. Dumfries scored from the corner, and then Yams, what a shot from actually Rafinha, hit the crossbar and in the back of Jan Sommer scoring own goal. This game's all to play for now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. If it gives up to the first, yeah, we could be in for probably one of the best games over 2 heads in the first head and the second head. And for me, probably, I was shocked that Inter Milan conceded three with how good defensively that they were. But I think that's down to Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick has won this competition before. He always had a plan to try and cut Inter Milan open, and I mean they were good goals, to be fair. And nothing Inter Milan could do about one of the Barcelona goals, especially Rafinha goal. And but I wouldn't want to call it in the second. Yeah, that
It's
wouldn't
hard.
want.
It's a hard one to call for it, isn't it?
I would still edge towards Inter though. Barcelona's away form is quite a concern. Away to Dortmund when they were in full control, they were quite fortunate at Barcelona. Dortmund didn't come back into it after being 4-0 up and after it, and Dortmund were two. I think they were 2-0 up or yeah, down. They got Barcelona had a defeated goal, didn't they? Which obviously ended that comeback. And but it's just their away form that's quite a concern for Barcelona down to second yet, going away to San Siro as well.
Yeah,
And 50-50 though. It is 50-50.
it's 50-50. But do you think that will edge ahead if Lautaro Martinez he went off in the first leg due to injury? They're still not ruling him out. They're not ruled him out yet, but he's not playing against Verona today. But as I said, is he some chance that he can be fit for the second leg at San Siro next Tuesday?
Uh, I think for me, Martinez, it's going to be a hit and door one with him, whether he can make the second yet. If he
I think it's
doesn't,
more better with Turan than Martinez because Turan does make the difference.
yeah, 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 that's what I was about to say. I wasn't say that I don't think Martinez would be that much of a miss. I think if it was too warm, because I think Martinez is a bit of a moments player for me, a bit of a moment player where he can sometimes take the shine right away. Wow, too warm. You saw that goal, saw that fit of a goal. That's what he can do sometimes. So I think two arms it for me. Martinez, I still sometimes have questions about him. For me, sometimes he has those moments, but let's be real. When Argentina won the World Cup, it was down to Messi, Metallica, and all them players.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, okay, I can understand your opinion on that. I think you question. Yeah, you have to have questions if he's that it player. That's the one you have to do. You have to question if he's that it player that can But like I think Turan can be that is always that it player can make a difference. So
Yeah, probably underrated as well. Too. It doesn't get the same with certain fans. Doesn't get the same credit as Martinez for me because not yeah, the last name, yeah, his whole name, Vince himself. Oh yeah, he's a nobody. When really he isn't. He's actually underrated and underappreciated for me.
yeah, that's true as well. Especially his daddy was one of the best defenders in the world years ago, and the way how he's had to really live up to his dad's name, especially what he did at Juventus as well. Lillian did so. It's a good point, actually.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, Chris. Before we finish off, let's talk about the race for the top five. Disappointing defeat in the final first lost to Brentford 2-0, but a huge win for Man City to win against Wolves. Wolves had a chance to win that game last night, but um, where do you think the top five is going to be? Because I think Villa is probably the other team has been on the best form outside the top five. I think Nottingham Forest are just slowly just losing their edge a bit after what a huge season now. I think everything just caught up. I've catch up to them, hasn't it?
Yeah, for me, maybe the pressers Dr. Forest at the presser end of the season, and I don't know. I don't know what's happened to them really. Like maybe they peak too early, which was like first half of the season and on into the new year, and even before the running, they got in full control to try and finish in top five, and but now the set pace all of a sudden. Like from out of nowhere, that's what couple 12 points can do. Uh, that's a killer pure for me. That was so against Brentford for Forest. They would have looked at that thinking, yeah, that's a winnable. I mean, Brentford are a tough team, but you can still maybe edge that game out and being full control. I think it'd be disappointment for Forest after they beat Man City as well. When they beat Man City in the year game, we all felt that that was the win to probably seal Forest Champions League, beating another contender around you for the Champions League spot. But just shows the running of the season, the streaky bum time of the season, maybe just caught up with them. Maybe I'll put it down to the squad as well. The Nuno, yeah, it's a small squad. I seen this before at Wolves when he was at Wolves, Nuno, where he had Wolves in the Hoopy and PSs, bottom for Champions League, and then the one end came and they fell away. It just seems to be the little nemesis in Nuno's manager capabilities for me. Still a good manager for me, but that's the only capabilities in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Who do you think is going to finish in the final spot then between Chelsea and Forest and Villa? I think Villa's got the more advantage now. Yes, they lost the last game, but with their previous 5 games before that, they won every single game. So they're probably the hot team on form at the moment.
And it can all change in like a week's time, a week's time, 2 weeks time. If Forest get the win at Palace and Villa were to use, and all of a sudden it's back to Forest with the momentum then. But for me, obviously Liverpool won the league. Arsenal should get second. Well, Arsenal needs to be
Well,
careful
that's a question.
because
That's a good question. Do you think Man City can pip Arsenal now? Because
looking at the games remaining, Arsenal haven't really got any favourable games apart from the final day away at Southampton. Got Bournemouth this weekend. Arsenal through with Brentford, so there's no reason why Bournemouth can't get a result at Arsenal, especially with Arsenal having eyes on the Champions League in the second year. Arsenal have to play Newcastle, and we all know Arsenal struggled against Newcastle
yeah,
in recent times. They obviously play us in the dead rubber game, really, which is a dead rubber. It'll just be Arsenal giving us a guard of honour. And away to Southampton, they're gonna beat them easy, yes, be real. You know what? City could pip them, to second place, and all of a sudden, more questions be asked of Arteta. Man City's worst season, well, one of the worst seasons, and they could potentially finish above Arsenal and win the FA Cup.
yeah,
So yeah, I think Liverpool, Arsenal, City, they're in the City are just on that one now, aren't they? Where they're just picking off wins now.
yeah.
Uh,
I think
for me,
Newcastle's
yeah, I
Newcastle
agree with
fine.
Aston Villa as well.
Yeah,
I agree with Aston Villa as well. The momentum, they're out of the Champions League now, out of the FA Cup, and they're full on now for the Champions League spot. And Newcastle, I still don't see Chelsea getting in. I know Chelsea got the picked up results recently. I still think that conference needs some big distraction for Chelsea.
Mm.
So I think Newcastle will get in as well.
Yeah, I think Villa will get it. I think now with everything they've been on the floor, I think Knox will drop down. I think Chelsea will be in the Europa League again next season. I really do, and I feel like if it's going to be one of Spurs or Forest, Spurs or Man United to win that Europa Conference League, can't believe we're going to have 6 teams in the Champions League next season. Absolutely. Oh, there back, Chris. Yeah, sorry, Chris. I said I wouldn't be surprised if I'd be
And then,
amazed. Sorry, it would be amazed if Man United and Spurs win one of them wins the Champions League, and there's gonna be 6 English teams in the Champions League next season. Oh, sorry, Chris. I thought we had some technical difficulties. So yes, yes, Doug. We know that confirming that Joel Allen it retires after today's game as well. That is a huge as well. He's had a very good career, decent career as well. The Welsh Chavy, yes, absolutely, indeed as well. But you know what? I'm going to finish this show, and thank you very much for everyone for who's joining us, and thank you for Chris for joining me as well today. I appreciate that, Chris. Chris, have a good weekend as usual, Doug. I might see you down at AZ Park across the road as well too. Oh, Chris is back. Chris, hopefully you've rectified some of your technical issues, but if you're not, don't worry. Thanks for joining me. Oh, Chris, we got you back on?
yeah, should be back now.
Yeah. So you were saying, like I said, I think that Villa is going to finish off on the high completely. I think they will finish above Chelsea. I really do.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think it'll be, as I said before, Liverpool, one of Arsenal, City for second, third, fourth.
Newcastle.
Probably Newcastle, and between Newcastle and third, fourth, and fifth. And I think Forest will drop out
Yeah.
as well.
And Chelsea will drop
Unfortunately,
out as well. Yeah, no, I agree as well. I agree as well. Chris, you've been amazing co-host with me today. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hopefully you have a good weekend despite what's going on at Carlisle. But have a good weekend, mate, and we'll try help you again on next weekend. And like I said, it'll be like I said, you've been a good co-host as co-host as usual this season as well.
yeah. Thanks for having me on. As the Tetzel saying does, every little helps. I just had to get one. I just had to get that one in there. And but yeah, thanks for having me on, especially all season as well.
No, I appreciate it,
And
Chris. Appreciate
I always have an opinion on anything as well.
absolutely, Chris. Chris, are you watching Formula One later on today?
Oh yes, yeah, one, isn't it? it's
Miami, yeah, yeah.
it'd be before my bedtime. Well, before everyone's bedtime. Perfect time. Nothing better to watch. To be fair.
True, true, true. Chris, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Take care, mate.
You too. Thank you very much for Chris for joining us as well, me as well today as well. Yeah, so that is the end of the show, but we are back on tomorrow night to talk about the EFL Championship final day weekend. We should have Michael, Annie, and a few others as well join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. as well. The Saturday show will be the only show on our channel for the rest of the season until up all the way up to the Champions League final as well. So thank you very much for everyone for listening in. Hope everyone have a good weekend. If you do miss the show, please watch us again after this live broadcast ends. But yeah, that is it. Like I said, not much to do. I'm gonna have a chill day as I can do. Go watch the Edinburgh Derby. But like I said, everyone have a good weekend. Enjoy the fixtures, the games today. If you travel down all over the country as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.